Victor puts a man down at center ice. Big hit for 24. Saved by Rickman. Rebound. He got that one too. Evan coming at the wing. Secret scores!
Big shot save made by Culbertson.
Front shot saved by Redmond. He'll hang on.
WCHL play has begun. The Sooners were handed their first loss of the season, but they rebounded with a win on Saturday night against a very strong Colorado Buffaloes team. Welcome, hockey fans, to Hockey Time in Oklahoma. I am your host, Ben Dackey. With me is head coach of the Oklahoma Sooners, Peter Arvanitis. Coach, thank you for joining me.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for having me again.
So let's kind of jump right in here. The first loss of the season, always tough, but a nice rebound on Game 2. It didn't even feel like you guys lost the first game. You just ran into a hot goalie. What do you think?
No, I was happy. Like, even talking with the guys after the game, we a lot of time we spent in their zone. But it's like you said, we ran into a goalie that made the big saves when he had to. We had a couple of breakdowns in our end, and basically they scored off of those. But that's something we can fix. So the whole game itself, we were struggling in getting in front of their goalie. So basically, every shot that we were taking, he was basically seeing, and we had like close to, I think, 45 shots that game. But he played well. He made the saves that he had to. But we just tweaked a couple of things for the Saturday game, and everything turned out right. And, we put some pressure on their goalies. We kept the puck in the zone. We got into those dirty areas, quick shots to the net, quick rebounds, and we ended up winning 4-0.
Matthew Server went 42 of 42 in a shutout on Friday night, and he went 42 of 45 on Saturday night. So, needless to say, he was feeling pretty hot. He had a .966 save percentage. Only got the 3 goals on him for the weekend. So, how do you deal with a hot goaltender when you run into one?
No, it's you're going to run into them. It's especially right now when we get playing into our conference. Every goalie is a legitimate, very good goalie. So. We got to just not make it easy on them. When we have our power plays, we got to get traffic in front of them. A 5-on-5 is the same thing. It's anytime a goalie sees the puck, there's a 99.9% chance he'll save it. But anytime you put some traffic in front of him or move him laterally quickly with one-time shots, I think you put him into a vulnerable position. And that's where we got to score on those opportunities.
We spoke about this after the game on Friday night. There was just not a lot of presence in front of the net, and I went back and I watched the footage from Saturday. All 3 of the goals that you guys got against Matthew Server were in the dirty area around the net.
Yeah, it was. They weren't, like I said, ESPN-type, barred-down type goals, but they still count. I remember the one goal where we just shot it from the point. Goldstein did a good play, got it at the blue line, put it at the net, forced the goalie to make a save. But again, we had Dalmo there that was ready for the rebound, and he put it in an empty net. But those are the type of goals that you got to produce when you're running into hot goalies.
The fact that you were able to make that adjustment so quickly, it was very visible that you made an adjustment between games because the presence in front of Server in Game 2 was infinitely better. Yeah. But what does that say about your team that they were able to make that adjustment so quickly?
Oh, it's you're dealing with kids that they've played hockey their whole lives. It's not nothing we got to hammer into them. It's just letting them know that, hey, for us to be successful, we tried this yesterday. It really didn't pan out for us. So let's get into this area and do this and see what it does. And right away you saw it in the first 5 minutes, I think it was, as we scored that goal just by doing that, just by doing the little things. And when you do the little things right, it adds up to very good things, and it added up for us scoring 4 goals.
Since he's come here for the start of the season, Andrew Lowe has made a bit of a habit of getting these dirty goals. All of his hat-trick goals from a few weeks ago were in the dirty areas around the net, 2 more in the immediate kind of rebound area. Was that something that you knew about his game when you were recruiting him?
No, he was. I knew that the one thing that I really liked about him was his speed. He was very fast both ways of the ice, and that's something that I was looking into bringing in. And obviously when you put him with a playmaker like Mondu and a smart hockey player like Nate Payne, I think it just complemented all 3 of those guys. And right now I think they're one of our 3 top point getters. I think top 5 or top 6 together. So I always knew he had speed, and when you have speed, you create offensive opportunities, and he's able to capitalize on it.
And Lowe will be on the show later, and Jake Barone will join him afterwards. But Jake Barone, he doesn't light up a stat sheet, but he just looked very sound and confident in the defensive zone. He was making a lot of plays with his stick. He was in passing lanes. He was blocking shots, a few nice passes from the point in the offensive zone. What have you liked about his game so far this year?
Well, I like the way he's grown from last year. At the beginning of the year, I think the first 5 games, I think he dressed for 2. And then we kept going along the year, and then I think we sat him for 1 out of the next 10 games. But ever since then, he's been just a great defenseman, and obviously, during the year you grow, you mature, you get to know the game a little better, and he's much wiser now, much smarter, and he logs a lot of ice time. He's a very important player for us on the back end. He kills penalties, plays 5-on-5s, plays power play. He's a blessing to have back there because he's legitimately a very good hockey player.
You brought in all these defensemen to help shore up the back end, but Jake Barone has really blossomed into a true top 4 defenseman for you, and that's got to be nice.
Yeah, it's good because that's a kid that I didn't know of. He was one of the kids that when I came in, he was already here. So watching him where he was last year and watching him to graduate to what he is today is, like I said, is a big jump, and credit goes to him for putting in the hard work on and off the ice, and he's reaping the benefits of getting a lot of ice time from it.
To be able to stick around for an ACHA club as long as he has, he's entering year 3, and he's played a lot of games and had a lot of experience in an OU uniform. But kind of moving on to Colorado State. Colorado State did a sweep of Midland University. They are 6-2-2 on the season, 4th in the WCHL. The Sooners currently hold the top position in that conference. Of the 10 teams in the WCHL, the Colorado State Rams are another unranked one of 3. They went 3-1 against you guys last year and got outscored 18-10. You guys did rather. So, does anything stick out to you about the Rams coming in for this weekend?
No, we know that they're a very good team. It's like you said, they've played 10 games, and their only actual 2 losses are to UCO. So they're not an easy team to play against. They're big, they're structured, good goaltending, big defensemen. They have that one line that does the majority of scoring of their goals. So they got guys that can put pucks in the net. So what we need to do is basically, like I've told them, is let's worry about what we need to do to be successful, and play at our tempo and play disciplined hockey, good defensive zone hockey where it doesn't stress on our defense or our goalies, and hopefully keep the puck in their end and hopefully capitalize on some mistakes.
Now, you just got out of a series with a very hot goaltender in Matthew Server and Sam Simon from Colorado State. Midland put up 58 shots against him. He saved 54 of them. Is that a bit of a concern, or do you just want to repeat what you did on Saturday night?
No. We look at what we need to do to be successful. The good thing about seeing Midland, the good thing about Midland playing Colorado State is that we actually got to watch them play against them. That's the good thing about social media these days. Every game is televised, so we get to see what the pros and cons are. But like I said, they got a good goalie and they got some good defensemen that know how to move the puck. But again, for us to be successful, we got to keep the puck in the offensive zone as long as we can and get some traffic in front of a good goalie and capitalize from that.
Some of those games are televised a little bit better than the other ones, right, Coach?
You got it.
So you have become kind of known for shuffling your lineup a lot. Can you explain your process for deciding who gets into the lineup and maybe who comes out on a game-by-game basis?
Well, it just depends on the flow of the game, who you're playing against. There's some teams that we know that maybe we need more of a grinding type line. There's other games where you just want to add some speed to your lineup, and we're very blessed in a way where we have players that unfortunately that we can't dress all of them. But the ones that don't dress, they could easily jump in, the next day and bring in what they need to without having any regards that we're not basically, digressing our team. We're basically keeping it as an upgrade. So, we did a good job off-season in bringing in some good, talented players. And unfortunately, you just can't, dress 30. We were only allowed to dress 21. And we dress the ones that we feel that can give us the best chance to win that night.
Going into the kind of getting new players in, can you just kind of go into, again, your recruiting process? Like, what do you see from a kid who's coming into college, and what just makes you go, I want that kid playing for OU?
Well, it's different for every team. Well, with us, it was no secret last year. We're a very good, hardworking team that really relied on our defense and our goaltending. So we knew as a recruiting tool, we had to get some offensive-minded players ASAP, and that's what we did. It was like looking at players that were not only putting up points just for 1 year at the junior level, but successful years, whether it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you know that they're legitimately offensive-minded players that are able to make that transition to college. And we're able to bring those guys in, and that's like you said, like Andrew Lowe, Mondu, and the list goes on. We got more than a handful of those guys, and to help those guys out, I thought we needed to get bigger on the back end just to solidify the defense in front of our goalies, where we know that the goalies can make the first save, and we're big enough and strong enough to get rid of the rebounds on the back end to make it life easier for himself as well.
And that is all we have for Coach Arvanitis. But before we go to break, Sooner fans, be sure to check out our merchandise at ouhockey.com, where you can grab our newest OU hockey gear. Get ready for the cooler weather with a sweatshirt or a long-sleeve t-shirt. You can also pick up one of our brand new authentic anthracite game jerseys or custom order your own. Just check out the website, ouhockey.com. We'll be right back.
All right, Brennan, you guys got shut out last night. Two late goals. You guys got off to a hot start. You pitched a shutout tonight. What were you feeling about tonight's game?
The vibes today were just immaculate. Everybody in my house, I live with Trey Atanasio, Declan Martin, and Nicholas Evatt, and we just felt really good today going to the rink. In the locker room, I don't know, something was in the air today. We were feeling like ourselves again.
Yeah, you were really hot tonight. You're literally steaming right now.
Yeah. It's hot here today. That's why the ice is so bad down there. Concrete down there. It's tough.
So you guys suffered your first loss. What did Coach tell you in the locker room pregame today?
Just stick with what we know. Like yesterday, it was a test of our character, I'd say. Try not to fall back into habits that we've had the last 3 years here, which have been tough. It's just stick with our plan. Bounces weren't going our way yesterday. We got calls. Power play couldn't connect here or there, but put up another 44 shots again today, and it worked.
Yeah, you guys have put up almost 90 shots in the last 2 games. It seemed like your team controlled the puck for most of these last 2 games. And obviously, sometimes you just don't pull it out like last night. Do you ever get lonely down here?
That second period was very, very lonely. It was, hard to stay a bit focused there, but keep my mind in it.
All right. My last question, something I noticed as I was coming up. I noticed on the back of your helmet, Scott, did you touch my drum set?
Yes.
I know what it's from, but do you want to explain?
I am a huge Step Brothers fan. I probably know that movie by memory. Just like I can watch it in my mind. I love Will Ferrell. Anytime I'm down or happy, just Will Ferrell. Need it.
Thanks.
Perfect. Thank you.
Guys, back up to you.
Time in Oklahoma, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Hockey Time in Oklahoma, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Ben Dackey. With me now, number 88 for the Sooners, Andrew Lowe. Andrew, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Now, you've come in and you've just immediately made an impact. You are the 4th leading scorer on the team, 5 goals. But something I've noticed about all your goals, you've been creating a lot of chances for yourself skating because you're very fast. I will be honest with you, you're very fast. But you're getting all your goals have come right on the doorstep off of rebounds or maybe off a real pass that goes down low. Has that always been part of your game?
I think it's just kind of implementing a game that coach just really has been harping on since the start of the season, just always going to the net, crashing the net hard, and just making sure we're always going to the house. I think that's something we've definitely been focusing on as a team. And, I've been very fortunate enough to play with guys like Nate and Ben, where they're just giving me opportunities where they're putting the pucks on net, and I'm just, able to find a little rebound and just tap it in. But, I think it's, it has been part of my game, but, that's something the coach has been really harping on lately.
Now, Ben Mondu, I had the privilege of playing with him in high school, and he's just a phenomenal passer with the puck. Great vision, great playmaker. What's it been like playing on a line with him?
I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, his stats obviously show. I mean, he's got, I think it's 9 or 10 assists. Just he's an absolute playmaker, and to play with someone like him, he's got great vision, great speed, and he's got the whole package. Just to play on a line with him it's awesome.
Now, pretty much everyone I've met over the course of my life who rocks the number 88 is a Patrick Kane fan.
Yeah.
Are you one of those people?
Yeah, I used to actually be a Chicago Blackhawk fan before I was a Rangers. But I was definitely getting a few chirps for taking 8s in the beginning of the season. It's definitely a bold move because usually my number is 17, but Will Baird has that number now. So I like 88. I've definitely been a fan of Patrick Kane and his playmaking style in the game. But yeah, I think 88 is a great number so far.
Think he lands in Buffalo?
I think so. I mean, I've been seeing a lot that there's a lot of interest around there. So I mean, for him to go back home to Buffalo where he grew up, I think that's a pretty cool thing for him.
Now, you played your hockey growing up in the New Jersey and the Maryland area, and as someone who grew up in Baltimore, I'm familiar with that scene. I didn't get as high as you did, Mr. Team Maryland, but pretty solid hockey up there. But how would you describe the hockey scene up there?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of people might not think New Jersey's that great of hockey, but I mean, I think some of the best kids in the country come out of that the Atlantic District out there. So I think we play a really fast, hard, physical playmaking and style hockey up there. And growing up in that area, I think it's very different from parts of the country. So when I come out to like Oklahoma, I see a little differences, or when I played in Canada, or even when I played in Maryland, there's little differences in the game. But to be able to play in the Northeast, it's awesome.
Now, Matthew Server, he was just robbing you guys left and right pretty much the entire weekend. But so how frustrating was it on Friday night when just nothing you guys tried could get past him?
Yeah, I think we weren't really sticking to like our basics, and what we've been really harping on is we were shooting the puck a lot, but I mean we were just kind of putting it in his glove or not going hard to the net or not really getting to that grade A scoring opportunity. So when it came to Sunday, where we saw what we needed to do, we worked on it in the film room, and we went over those things. I think it was it was obvious where we were lacking and getting to those grade A opportunities. So, I think it was just a matter of, really seeing where we needed to make those differences in our game.
I talked to Coach about this right before you got in here, and he credited you guys for being able to make that adjustment so quickly. But what was the feeling between you guys in the dressing room for that? Because the way you played in front of Server's net in Game 1 and Game 2, it's night and day. How do you flip that switch?
Yeah, I think it was we knew where we weren't doing well, and it was very obvious. I mean, we didn't score anything. So I mean, it was when we came to the room and we talked about it with Coach, and we watched it on we rewatched the film and saw where our mistakes were. It was very obvious of where we needed to critique our game for Sunday, and it was very obvious that getting bodies in front, getting back to those grade A opportunities, getting back to those grade A scoring chances is where we needed to be, and that's where we're most successful. I think we have I think 92% of our scoring is from inside the dot. So just getting back to that. Just getting back to inside the house there to put pucks on net and have great shooters like everyone on the team is that's where we're going to be most successful.
How'd it feel to finally get that first goal on Saturday?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, Ben just walking down and putting pucks on net. It's something that he's always able to find a lane. Always gets it through shin pads. So they make it really easy for me. So I just a little tap in, but I'm very fortunate to play with guys who are able to get the puck to the net.
Now, I did not realize this until I was doing research for the show, but you and a teammate of yours, Jake Barone, who we'll have later on the show, longtime family friends, teammates perhaps?
Yeah.
Tell that story.
So we grew up, probably not even like 20, 30 minutes away from each other. We ended up playing on the New York Saints team together. I think it was like Pee Wee Majors. Became really close. Our families are both really close, So we've known each other for a very long time, and we've actually always been training together in the summer. So the last, however many years it's been since then, with the same guy in New Jersey. But we actually both moved down to Florida, a little like maybe an hour or two away from each other. He's in Orlando, I'm in Boca now, but we've made the great migration from New Jersey to Florida now, but together. But yeah, we've been very close ever since we started playing together.
There wasn't any tampering to get you down here to OU, was there?
No. I mean, when I started talking to him, I was talking to him in Maryland. I mean, we've always been pretty close, always just texting back and forth. So when I was talking to him and he was showing me, and I started talking to Coach a little bit, I mean, it was obviously a very special connection.
So that is all we have for Andrew Lowe today, but hockey fans, be sure and subscribe to our OU Hockey newsletter that keeps you updated on everything OU Hockey, from the latest news on games and the season as well, and updates on players and everything Sooner Hockey. Subscribe to the OU Hockey newsletter. Just log on to ouhockey.com and hit the subscribe button at the top of the homepage, or excuse me, the bottom of the homepage. The bottom of the homepage. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Sooner Hockey on OU Hockey TV. My name is Ben Dackio at ice level with Oklahoma legend, country music star, Toby Keith. Mr. Keith, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you. Good to be here.
What brought you out here to the game tonight?
Well, my best friend has a daughter that's going to marry one of the hockey players, and Sadler. And I'm an old hockey fan. I love hockey. And so I came to the game not to support them.
So how do you think the Sooners are doing so far this evening? This is an old school Big 8 matchup whenever these two schools lined up on the football field, but we're getting it on the ice. That's a pretty cool concept, don't you think?
Cool. And to be in Oklahoma and see actual hockey, especially at the college level, is exciting too. But we're up 1-0. It's been a tough fight. Both teams been going at it pretty hard.
What players have stuck out to you on OU so far this evening?
I like the big defensemen. I like the size of our defensemen. I don't know all their names yet. It's my first game, but the goalie, our goalies played good. So I don't know all their names, but they're physical, and they've really fought hard. They just played down in the end I'm in, and we had a lot of shots on goal. Just didn't get anything in the net.
We'll make a hockey fan out of you yet, sir. You'll learn. You'll learn those names in good time. I promise. Me and Caleb, we call so many of these games, we don't even need a spotting sheet. We're just that good.
I don't know how an announcer can keep up with hockey.
It's hard. But talking about kind of switching gears to OU football, they're also 6-0. OU hockey was 6-0 heading into last night, but Brent Venables has been running quite the show over at Gaylord Memorial so far this year.
Yeah, and USC's getting hammered right now by Notre Dame, so I don't think there's any Sooner fans out there that are miserable about that. Brent has turned the program around. He's exactly what we needed to go to the SEC. He's recruited so many good top 100 defensive players, which the previous staff didn't do, and it's showing up on the field.
Now, you talked about some of the OU defensemen here tonight. Mr. Castiglione, who was also here this evening, he said he'd like to see a few of them maybe line up at tight end for OU football. Do you think you could see that happening?
Absolutely. There's some size.
So, how did you start your journey as a hockey fan? Were you a OKC Blazers fan back in the day?
You know, actually in junior high, I started trying to learn to skate, but real hockey players are born on skate. So I could skate, and I made a couple of junior hockey teams, but playing. But I couldn't skate backwards fast enough. So they put me in goal, and finally I just played football. I just did what I knew what to do. But hockey's is underrated. Hockey's one of the greatest sports in the world. And I love hockey, and I tried to play it as a kid. It was just in Oklahoma you can't. I think we got one kid that ever was born here that made it to the NHL, but it's just we're not a hockey. We don't have the ice, and we're not grown up. We're not raised as kids to skate, and you have to be born on skates to be that good.
Do you think there's room for Oklahoma with how big football is in the state? Do you think there's room for hockey to be a more mainstream sport?
Oh, absolutely. If we brought an NHL team here, it would be bigger, I think, than the Thunder. I think Oklahoma City has always supported. We had a Central Hockey League when I was a kid, and I saw Dino Cicerelli, Mike Palmatier, Hall of Fame type players that came through and played when we were under Toronto or Minnesota North Stars, and we went to every game, and the old Myriad was packed every night. I have no doubt that if we had NHL in Oklahoma City that we'd be packed.
Can't argue with that.
You can't argue that.
We're going to take a quick break. I'm Ben Dackio. This is Toby Keith. You're watching Sooner Hockey on OU Hockey TV.
Boomer.
Welcome back to Hockey Time in Oklahoma, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ben Dackio. With me now is Sooners defenseman number 16, Jake Barone. Mr. Barone, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Now, you are in your third year with the Sooners, and just being with an ACHA program so long, that is very impressive. So kudos to you, sir.
Thank you.
But you've just improved so much with time. You've already matched your career high total from last year with 6 points on the year so far. So how does it feel to already be so everything else here? You've just improvement.
Yeah, no, it feels good. It's been nice playing. I mean, I've been playing with a bunch of different defensemen, and
been with a few different power plays and stuff, so it's nice to play with a bunch of different guys and help me get some points, I guess.
Now, the way you were playing against Colorado maybe doesn't light up the stat sheet very much, but it was a very sound defensive game, and I said as much over the last couple of nights on the broadcast. But just how would you describe just sitting back in the defensive zone in opposing passing lanes?
That Colorado was actually very good, and having to block those passing lanes, it was a little tough, but whatever helps BCB out, keeping the pucks out of the net. Feels nice.
Now, BCB, his stats are absolutely off the charts so far this year, but I think a lot of that to do is, number one, he's a phenomenal goaltender, but number two, the play in front of him on the backhand, you specifically, has been so much more improved. So what went into just bringing in these new guys into the game that you play and your own improvement this season?
I think just keeping things simple, not trying to do too much, and just, the new guys have fit in perfectly, and it just feels good having new guys, old guys on the team, and yeah.
Now, how important is it for you to, after just kind of a frustrating season last year, but the wins, they're coming in bunches, another series against a WCHL opponent this weekend, like how much does it mean to you to just start getting these wins?
It feels nice compared to last year. I mean, towards the end of the season, we started getting some more wins, but we started off pretty slow, so starting off hot like this is definitely big for us.
Has the style of play changed for you guys at all in the back end this season? It just feels so much better and so much more controlled.
I think just, we've been working on just keeping them out of our zone, trying to cut them off before they even come into our zone. It's definitely been working for us. Just listen to whatever coach has to say. It's definitely been good for us.
Now, with Cameron Bickford not available for the power play this year, I feel like you guys have tried to be shuffling around a little bit, trying to find someone to kind of fill that role. And you've been out there a couple of times. So, what's the process like when you're holding the puck near the top of the zone and you're looking for somewhere to go with the puck?
You kind of got to judge what the forward is doing. If he's going to pressure you hard, you got to quick move it over to, on my power play, be Sinclair or back to Mondu. If they're a little passive, I can, hold it, see what I have. If I want to shoot, if I have room, kind of just judge on what they're doing.
Now, we sit in the booth for every game since Brendan Sinclair has come back. He's looked fantastic, by the way. But I don't understand how when teams are on the penalty kill, they don't cover Brendan Sinclair at all. He's like an Ovechkin. Like he's standing. The man is standing at the top of the circle by himself, and it happens every week, and it baffles me. It just baffles me. Yeah. So what do you think? Because I'm stumped.
I mean, it's great for us. I mean, I move it over to Mondu on the side, and he has that lane right across the middle sometimes. I mean, if they're covering him, well, they should because he's got a great shot. So, but when he doesn't, it definitely works in our favor.
Now, we talked about this with Andrew Lowe just before you, but when I was putting the show together, I did not realize that we were going to have a very distinct New Jersey flavor to this rendition. So, what's a good story of you two from back in the day?
I'm trying to think. Me and Lowe played together when we were younger, probably around like 13, 12. So I've known him for a while, and it's cool that we got 4 different New Jersey guys now. So. No stories, I guess. Just, it's cool to have someone that I've known for so long on this team.
Are you a Devils fan, my friend?
I'm not.
I think that's hilarious. 2 Jersey guys on the show, and neither of them are Devils fans.
Yeah, no, I'm a New York Islanders fan.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
See, why were you guys so mean to Tavares when he came here? Or to Toronto, I should say.
He deserved it.
Did he really deserve it?
Yeah.
Oh, even the really bad diss track that was released on him.
I didn't even see that, but he deserved what he gets.
Not allowed to go home and play for a better team?
No.
No?
Not a fan of him.
That's I feel like that's a bit rough. Gave you guys a lot of good years of hockey.
He did.
You feeling good about the Islanders in the Metro this year?
We'll see. It's tough, but our goalies are obviously, 2 of the best in the league, and
must be nice.
We need Matt Barzal to pick it up this year, I guess.
What so high hopes would you say? Maybe a division title in reach?
Definitely high hopes. We did pretty good last year. It was tough losing to Carolina in the second round, but they did good in the first round at least. Hopefully we can make it back to playoffs this year.
So what do you think the key is to making it out of the Eastern Conference?
The top team, I mean, Devils are going to be tough this year. Carolina's always good. Just hopefully we can get some wins over those big teams.
All right, and that is all we have for you this evening, ladies and gentlemen. This has been Hockey Time in Oklahoma. I'm Ben Dackey. You can follow me on Twitter at Ben Dackey. Follow the Sooners at OU Hockey on Twitter, and you can follow our broadcast account at Sooner Hockey TV on Twitter. I'm Ben Dackey. This is Jake Barone. We'll be back next week. Well, Hunter Howe has been asked to play essentially top pair minutes since he came here from the Northeast, and that's what he's been for the Sooners, and he's just gotten better as time has moved on.
So the puck is dropped here, and Colorado will win this one back. It's Kitty holding on to it, and he's going to go across to his defensive partner. Colorado will chase this one back behind the Sooners netminder. Wrap opportunity out in front's held on to by BCB, and he's going to melt that one down for a whistle. His first challenge is a big one.
I believe that was Henry Bunting trying to be a little sneaky there on Culbertson.
Possession chance out in front, and Culbertson Bond is going to swallow that one.
No such thing as a bad shot, but a shot from such a sharp angle, you're not beating Brendan Culbertson Bond with that.
Go across for Howe. Howe winds up and shoots one that goes just wide. It was deflected in front, and now Colorado touches up. Holding onto it right near that horse head. Back to his left side. Mondu walking, got a lane, shoots one off the goalpost. Rebound, score! Sooners on top in 4 minutes.
65 minutes later, the Sooners finally solve the puzzle that is Matthew Server.
So let's take a look at what happened here. It was Barone over to the left side. Mondu shot rings the post, but a rebound. Chaotic play in the back of the net. They're able to send it home on the back end. Douglas Wood holding on to it. One of the top 3 scorers this season for the Buffaloes, and he has his stick lifted by Rieger. Puck comes away, and Carson Glass chases after it. Couldn't get a piece of it. Swearingen behind the net, slaps it around the boards, and he'll get it past the Buffaloes' blue line and out for a line change.
Behind that puck, maybe whiffed on it a little bit.
Starting to run out of gas as Culbertson Bond makes a nice blocker save. He pushed that one away for the purpose, and now with some speed from Logan Sadler. Sadler knocks his man down to the ice and is able to chip it on his backhand to buy some time. Leading scorer for Colorado so far this year gets it in onside. Now chasing him into the defensive zone. He's upended by Tristan Glass. Big hit from 12, and now Howe trying to go the other way. Has it.
Pashianik is a good hockey name.
Certainly is. And he'll win the draw back here with a good hockey face-off. And out in front of the net, tries a power move, and he's drinking down. It'll be a penalty upcoming on the play.
Sadler almost pulled a Bobby Orr there. That would have been our friend from Quebec a goal.
There's Mondu holding on, shoots one that was deflected and held on to by Server. Nitrogen, the turnover out in front low. Nearly put his second one in the net tonight. Best save of the night for Server. Gets it across for Howe. Howe walks in and shoots one off the crossbar. That was Connor Horn. Check it.
Good idea and good vision from Sadler to see Connor Horn coming down from the point. That could have made it 2-0.
Holds on, shoots one that was deflected wide. Rebound try goes off the post, and the net comes off the moorings.
I forgot to set an over-under for amount of nets getting knocked off for this evening, but I do believe we're at 7 tonight. 6, 7, 2. That's a lot of, you're putting up all kinds of different fingers, Christian. I don't know what this means. We're at 6, thank you. So we've already passed the over from last night.
And it's still better math than any of the Excel sheets I try to make. And the pass opportunity wasn't there. Taken down on the play and not happy about it is the bench. George Issa was driving in. Now Lowe with a nice move at center ice. He walks in with a chance. Lowe's shot is just wide of the net and Server. Pashianik plays it across. He's looking for a friend. He found one. Now McConaughey in deep, turning, trying to buy some time and space. He does so. McConaughey back up top for Hartman. Hartman's shot was deflected. BCB